Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let's have a little mental exercise here, memory exercise. What do you know about Vladimir Putin's KGB, history? I gave you about 3 seconds because there's not much that you probably know. The only thing that you probably know, and I'm just assuming, is that he was detached or deployed in East Germany, in Dresden, right? As an attaché working for KGB, correct? Maybe you also know that he was over there a translator, right? And he was undercover, a spy as a translator. I know that a lot of people were undercover and they were spies at the embassies of different countries as translators. And it was like a general thing. Okay, well. Do you know of any activity that he did? Any actions? Any, plans? Anything like that? I don't know. I don't know of any. I don't know anything that he did over there. I don't know if he was spying on whom, what he did. He jumped over the bridges, swam underwater. I have no idea. The only thing that I know is that he showed up when that crowd showed up at the KGB offices in, I think in Dresden, was it? He went outside and met the crowd. Behind him, he went outside, I think, alone, and behind, inside the KGB offices, there were, I think, 2 people with AK-47s, armed, ready to shoot. That's how, and that's the story that it went, I know. And then he went over there and spoke to the people, angry people, and said, I can't let you go in. If you go in, you have to, pass me and go in, but there are people over there who are going to shoot you. So this is considered Russian territory, Soviet territory, so I have orders not to allow you. There are armed people in there. And supposedly, the story goes, the population, the group did not storm the KGB building. That's all. I don't know of any, as I said, mission, any secret mission that he did. Do you know? I would like to hear it. I didn't know if he was a fantastic spy. I don't know if he was a crappy spy. I don't even know exactly what he did. I never heard the Russians saying anything. Then he was back to Soviet Union, and then after some time, through some connections, he became the chief of the newly differently called KGB, the director of the KGB, like the director of the FBI, right? And that's how he got. In St. Petersburg, he knew some people over there and so on. That's how he climbed up. These guys from the Telegraph come now after what? We know Putin since what? Since 1999, December, to be more precise. At least I heard about him when Yeltsin introduced Putin here. Introduced him like that. He is this prime minister, and then he got to be the president. That's basically when we heard about Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Before that, nothing. I never heard the Russians saying he was the greatest spy. I never heard them saying he was better than 007 James Bond or anything like that. Now they have, since 1999 to 2000, have 23 years. 23 years they had time to uncover what a crappy spy Putin was. But they didn't. They just found out now. After 20 years, the Telegraph, with the help of some German journalists, they found out that he was not really the spy the Russians are claiming he was. I never heard anybody claiming that Putin was a fantastic spy. Have you? And if yes, tell me exactly what kind of missions the Russians ever disclosed to you or to the mass media that he underwent. You tell me. So these guys now attack him. I don't know if Putin, but I'm just gonna play like this. You tell me, in the past, 3 years, what the Russians did right or good. Now we know the Russians are not very, according to these guys. The Russians, on the contrary, are war criminals. The Russians are imperialistic in their mindset. They want to intervene and they have a crappy military because the Ukraine alone stopped them. They are a little bit not really open-minded. What else? They have a crappy economy. They have a weird tradition. This is what we are supposed to believe. Anything good. Don't tell me about the ladies of the night of Moscow, or the vodka, or Navalny and other guys, okay? But you tell me, what have you heard in the past 3 years that the Russians are good at? Not even soccer or football. So, you know, hockey used to be, but not as good as the Americans nowadays, you know what I mean? It's impossible, my friends. I do not believe that a person on this planet is only bad or only good, right? However, they want to tell us certain kind of names that he was pure evil and this was perfect person. I don't believe it. Why? I never met such a person. And why should I believe you or him telling me there's such a thing? Why? Am I a retard or something? Who do you think is telling us this? Other people like you and I. How did they figure that out? Are they smarter? They have like a crystal ball, they guess things, they find out that we're like, I don't know. Yeah, let's listen to Mr. Zelensky Stein. He's going to tell us. All right? So this is what happened here. I'm just pointing out not that Putin, these guys are bringing evidence. I don't give a shit if he was this or that. I personally don't care. Why? Not my business. Okay? I don't know how good he was. Neither these guys. Why? Because there are certain activities that are top secret, you know? And the other point is, you tell me now after 23 years since he was in the public's eye, why did you come with this 10 years ago when you figure out that Putin was evil? Why only now you just did some research? I mean, right now, when everything is even closed than before, please, don't fall for it. So I have here the Telegraph. Putin's exploits as KGB spy likely to have been exaggerated. Investigation fight. Okay, fine. What exactly he did? Let's see. This is yesterday. Vladimir Putin was not a Soviet super spy in East Germany in 1980. Okay, who claimed that? But a plodding pen pusher eager to please his superiors. An investigation has found. So he was a loser, basically. Like any other guy in... I mean, tell me, is Medvedev better? No, he probably is a loser as well. Is Lavrov better? I'm pretty sure no. Is Peskov good? No. Is Shoigu good? We know he's not. Is Prigozhin good? No. Is Pushilin good? No. Who the hell is... tell me some other Russians that might be, is Zakharova good? No. So who's good? Do they have anybody who's good over there? No. Do you think that's possible? I don't think so. I never met such a situation where you have all evil. Okay, all evil. Because you can say, the question is, what about the Nazis? Well, was Rommel a Nazi? Rommel? Was he? Was Paulus a Nazi? Was Speer, Alfred Speer, a Nazi? And many others were all bad? Yeah, they're all bad, only bad. Okay, yeah, all right. So let's move back here. So I can't accept this kind of proposition without, he was a pencil pusher. Okay, maybe he was, so. I never heard he was a super spy. This is the first time when I hear that the Russians claimed that he was a super spy. I never heard about it. And I don't know. And this guy's telling me now after 23 years is very fishy. Very fishy. It's like they didn't know so far. It just come and now they drop it on our lap. After a year and 3 months since the war started. Again, they needed a year and 3 months to figure out that. The investigation. What do you mean investigation? What did they need to do? Bribe some people? What did they translate from a Russian? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So Germany's Spiegel magazine investigated. They investigated Mr. Putin's murky. Did Spiegel find out who blew up the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2? And then my next question is, why not? This is more secret than then, I guess, because the other one is right in the open. So investigated Mr. Putin's murky past on the suspicion that stories of his exploits as a KGB agent were exaggerated. What if they were? What am I supposed to do? Just say, oh, another idiot? Is that, I mean, what if they were exaggerated? What am I supposed to do? Instead of conducting vital missions, which I never heard of, to hold back the forces of democracy, Spiegel, that's the story probably they refer to, Spiegel said that Mr. Putin was focused on a banal administrative work during his KGB posting to Dresden. Okay, so endlessly sorting through travel applications for West German relatives or searching for potential informants among foreign students. Okay, and again, Mr. Putin was a 32-year-old officer when he was sent to Dresden in 1985. A tense time with the Kremlin's grip over its vassal states fracturing. KGB officers were tasked with supporting East Germany's Stasi secret police, although the mission ultimately failed with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. It was agreed between the big guys, but hey, you won the Cold War, good for you, live and die with that thing and move on. And the collapse of the Soviet Union 2 years later, stories of Mr. Putin's alleged valor have become legend. That's true. Legend is one thing, reality is a different one, and they just came with investigative, the Spiegel, and we know the truth. Only after 23 years. Perhaps the most famous is how in December 1989 he single-handedly faced down protesters planning to storm the KGB headquarters. That's the only story I know and these guys are gonna mention. That's it. This is the only story. So let's see if that was true. Facts and fictions sometimes blur. However, this probably didn't happen, the magazine reported. Probably. It did or it didn't. If you say probably, you don't have my ear anymore. This probably didn't happen. You find it, you investigate it. According to one version of the story, a single man stood at the entrance to the nearby Stasi headquarters and watched the spectacle from a safe distance. Spiegel said, it cannot be proved that the current Russian president was even there. Okay, could they prove that he wasn't? I mean, what's your evidence? Do you have any information actually? Do you have? Spiegel also said the witnesses quoted widely on Mr. Putin's other alleged KGB heroics could not be trusted. Okay, why? A story about Mr. Putin helping anarchists in West Germany plotting assassination was based on testimonies from a serial liar with a criminal record. Spiegel said, hey, isn't Attorney Cohen a liar testifying against Trump in New York? Isn't that one of them? Habitual liar? Wasn't, what's his name, former President Clinton under, habitual truth teller? All right, these guys, my point is, if all is true what Spiegel believes, or probably, possibly, probably, they said probably, isn't that the word they use? Let me see. Probably. All right, you're not certain, so off. Basically, and again with witnesses. Yeah, okay, witnesses, that's true. Yeah, witnesses. Bring them on, investigate, find out, great. And then what? What's your point? Because if I take each and every Western leader, what do I find? What money changers? Guys who worked in the lending industry, like Macron, like Biden, like who? Kamala Harris. Who am I supposed to? Sunak? You give me a guy. Who that? You tell me. So I don't understand what's the point now with this guy. Okay, he's a loser. But yours? Take Take Bush the first. I think he was the, CIA director? Was he a spy? Was he a fantastic guy? He was the chief and became president. So, did anybody say that, hey, he was like that? Did anybody say, hey, maybe JFK had a lot of affairs with this and that? Maybe including Marilyn Monroe? Does it matter? Did he do his job properly? That's all it matters. But hey, like Zelensky. Zelensky was a clown. Zelensky was a joker. He was a comedian. And now he's this president. What do you want me to say? I mean, look at Zelensky, look at Putin. Okay, Putin, they were all lies. He's just a loser like the rest of them. But what about Zelensky? You know exactly what Zelensky did. He was a clown. He was making people laugh. Clown. And now he's that president, him and Churchill. He's always like this. Jesus Christ. Why are you saying this? Is this projection again of your insecurities projected on that guy? What are you trying to do? Destroy his 83% approval rating by his people? Look at Biden's with 38 or something, Macron with 21, Scholz again with 21 or 22% approval rating. Is that what you're trying to do? That's a failed little feeble attempt. But hey, keep trying with this kind of possible, probably, maybe, could, might. Not even that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Sorry for the anyway, stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. But sometimes these guys are just they really insult us, really. But a lot of them believe it. As I said, I don't care, man. I don't really care. But this is a feeble attempt.